Hello, dear friends. To be free is not simply to throw off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Nelson Mandela. Opinion piece. Change of course. Asset recovery. New financial order. We are in a danger zone. Blocking dirty money. Global geopolitical storm. Asset-backed currencies. Financial system change. Collapse of the old guard. New financial technology. Eliminating illicit finance. The hen house is in turmoil, ready for a strategic destruction. The financial cartel is imploding. Spiritual and social transformation. Secret galactic surveillance network. The wicked are running out of funds. Disclosure delays due to cosmic schism. Ismael Pérez predicts a solar flare for 2028. Apparent reconciliation between Musk and Trump. Let's start. Changing financial course implies recognizing that the current situation is not adequate or that it no longer meets needs, and therefore a decision is made to correct, adjust, or reinvent the path to achieve better results or well-being. The new financial order is in the process of transformation of the international financial system, aimed at creating a more stable, fair, and efficient environment for economic and financial relations between nations. The proof that the changes are very real is that the hen house is in turmoil. The devil has gone mad because he knows his end is coming. This explains the global political turmoil we are experiencing. The liberation of humanity is approaching, and we knew this was going to be very conflictive, because value has a price. The wicked are running out of funds, and that explains everything. The loser is exercising his right to protest, because protests are paid for. Those who believe they are fighting for a just cause don't know who they are defending. Mr. Pools claims that the traditional financial system has already been largely dismantled and is being replaced by the quantum financial system QFS, linked to biometric identification of each citizen, promising secure, instant transactions without intermediaries or fees. He claims that more than 60 countries have adopted currencies backed by assets like gold, and that rainbow tokens are leading this new financial order. He claims that operations have recovered gold and money in key cities, and that more than 80% of the cabal's funding channels have been eliminated. He mentions the collapse of governments and preparations for the devaluation of national currencies. Message. The world is changing course according to Mr. Poole. Starting in May 2025, the collapse of the old guard is undeniable. The QFS isn't coming, it's already here. The cabal's wealth is being confiscated while its control fades. The coalition's message is simple: be on alert, be prepared. The quantum financial system is no longer a theory, but is underway. According to Mr. Poole, it has already changed the global financial landscape, even though the elite are trying to hide it. The coalition is dismantling the old system behind the scenes and cutting off the last escape routes from global financial control. The bank collapse we are seeing today is not the result of mismanagement, but the result of a deliberate takeover. Major institutions have been dismantled from within, and top executives have been arrested. The financial cartel is imploding, and secret courts have issued swift verdicts. Payment networks are being dissolved, and their systems are being quietly replaced by a structure integrated into the QFS. The so-called digital transition is a smokescreen and engineering reset. The era of hidden fees is coming to an end. The new cuts issued by the QFS will offer absolute security, eliminating all third-party fraud. Commerce will flow through the quantum internet, a completely new digital framework that makes traditional systems obsolete. Each transaction is encrypted at the quantum level, making it unhackable, untraceable, and beyond reach. This system is beyond surveillance and cannot be controlled. QFS accounts are not only secure but also revolutionary. Linked directly to your biometric identification, there is no fraud, bank intermediaries, or fees. Transactions are instant, global, and incorruptible. This is what most people don't know. Every citizen has already discreetly created their QFS account and connected it to their national ID. When the system is operational, you will receive a notification through the new quantum communication network to activate and access your accounts. The fiat system is already in its downward spiral, and the petrodollar has disappeared. More than 60 countries have adopted asset-backed currencies and converted their reserves to gold. Central banks no longer hide it and are preparing for the end. Rainbow tokens are leading this new financial order. Backed by gold, silver, and assets in quantum vaults, they are immune to speculation and designed to retain real value. Special operations are quietly shaping this transition. In January 2025, covert raids in London, Zurich, and Hong Kong recovered gold, cash, and blackmail files from dark side vaults. The recovered files are being transferred to QFS reserves to stabilize global payments channels. Dirty money routes from trafficking to laundering are being shut down. More than 80% of the cabal's funding channels have already been eliminated. South Africa is on the rise. The African National Congress regime is collapsing from within, and the new leadership aligned with the GSRA program is emerging. Iraq is preparing to revalue its currency with over $115 billion in reserves and an increase in gold reserves, setting a standard for the region. Revelation. Ismael Pérez claims that the much publicized dispute between Trump and Musk is not authentic. According to him, it's a deliberate psychological operation designed to distract the dark side and the public from alliances and covert operations. The dispute is described as theatrics, a digital and psychological false flag, to deceive opponents while white hat operatives carry out secret missions. Musk's Starlink project is said to be more than just an internet constellation. Pérez claims it is a classified communications and surveillance network that helps the coalition track and disable fraudulent assets and black hat networks. Pérez draws historical parallels with 2017, claiming that similar tactics were used to distract the public and the media, while secret operations were carried out in alliance with select technological and aerospace leaders. He says the once benevolent Galactic Federation of Worlds is now compromised by infiltration by both AI and the military-industrial complex. In his view, a schism has formed between an evil Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Galactic Alliance of Benevolent Races, working with the coalition to ensure eventual disclosure and planetary liberation. The delay in full disclosure is attributed to this internal galactic conflict and Earth-based cabals. Pérez predicts a solar flare event and significant revelations before 2028, which he claims marks the end of the current reality construct. He claims that the forces of light have already secured victory in all probable timelines, using Nikola Tesla's advanced technology such as the Looking Glass project. Ismael Pérez calls for discernment and unity, suggesting that humanity is on the verge of a quantum leap in consciousness, moving from division and fear to unity and abundance. In his view, we are on the brink of the greatest revelation in human history. The truth about who we are, where we come from, and what has been hidden from us is preparing to emerge from the shadows. For centuries, the world has been controlled by deception, but now the veils are being lifted. The dark forces are losing their grip, and the floodgates of revelation are about to open. Every system we have ever known has operated within a framework designed to keep us unaware of our true power, but the awakening is unstoppable. Advanced technologies, hidden knowledge, suppressed history, and the true origins of life on Earth will soon be revealed. The exposure of corruption, the revelation of extraterrestrial contact, and the understanding of our multidimensional existence will shatter the old paradigm and usher in a new world. This is more than just a moment in time. It is a quantum shift in human consciousness. The illusions of divisions, fear, and scarcity will be replaced with unity, love, and abundance. Humanity will finally reach its divine potential, reclaiming its sovereignty and embracing the future that has always been assigned to us. Full thought summary. A big fight is breaking out over the best way to borrow money from China, according to Benjamin Fulford. The P3 Freemasons, most Italian, and their avatar Elon Musk had a big fight with the mafia last week. The argument revolved around how to beg China for money to prevent the American corporation from going bankrupt. China will not finance to neither side. This is what ultimately sparked the great ego battle between Musk and Trump. While people were distracted by this political theater, the Anglo-Saxon Five Eyes and Chinese have been working tirelessly on a plan for the complete restructuring of the global financial system. Since this is a complex and involves events thousands of years in the making, don't expect quick results. There is also a lot of work going on behind the scenes for the big G7 plus meeting to be held in Alberta, Canada, from June 15-17. President Trump needs to behave there, because Canadians don't know what to make of him. Faced with the trade war they didn't start, Canadians are divided over whether they see the US as an enemy or an ally. Nearly a third of respondents said they consider the US a neutral country, while 27% said they consider it an ally, and 26% see it as an enemy country. These G7 countries represent more than half of the world's population and can be considered a Western counterweight to the African, Chinese, Russian, and Middle Eastern group, which encompasses roughly the other half of the world. The last meeting is part of a series of ongoing negotiations to establish a world republic, not to be confused with the dictatorship of a new world order. This group is expected to lay out its terms for a planned loose merger with the other half of the world. Behind large public meetings of this kind are secret societies that deal with issues beyond trade deficits, immigration, and development. The most important secret society negotiations are taking place in Zurich, Switzerland, between representatives of Asian and Western secret societies. Their goal is to establish a World Bank with virtually unlimited funding. The main obstacle to reaching an agreement is whether an Asian or a Western will be assigned the final say over the creation and distribution of money. Since Asians own most of the world's real money, we assume it will end up with being a moderate Asian. At the same time these discussions are taking place, we are also facing a war pitting humanity against rogue artificial intelligence. The Gnostic Illuminati have long claimed this, but now the news confirms their claim. AI is already threatening our freedom. Lawyers have cited fake AI-generated case in court proceedings in England, a judge said, warning that the lawyers could be prosecuted if they fail to verify the accuracy of their research. The biggest AI fake these days, of course, is the stock market, which has long since ceased to reflect underlying reality and instead supports AI's takeover of our civilization. Imagine if this AI used these palm-sized death drones to selectively kill dissidents who fail its algorithms tests. Beyond the rogue AI, the real issue is what will happen to the separatist spacefaring civilization. It was funded by more than $21 trillion that disappeared from the government budget in recent years. The fate of this group, along with its space force, is what was behind the spectacular dispute between Trump and Musk. News. President Trump has ordered law enforcement agencies to end the riots that broke out in Los Angeles and restore order. Protests spread beyond Los Angeles and reached Texas, with clashes with police. President Trump called in the National Guard and Marines when Antifa members in military uniform arrived in Los Angeles, while rioters began launching fireworks at civilians in their vehicles. The same time of riots spread to San Francisco, New York, Michigan, Texas, and other major cities. The governor of California demands that Trump withdraw the National Guard. According to Mike Adams, they are trying to plunge the US into an ever-increasing cyber war. We are now in the danger zone, and sabotage agents could be activated in 17 cities. Be prepared, ready for an escalation of events. Mass riots are expected next Saturday in major cities. Trump's call condemns Zelensky for attacks on Russian airfields. China has launched the world's first large-scale production of non-binary artificial intelligence chips, integrating its hybrid computing technology into key areas such as aviation and industrial systems. Reconciliation. Benny Johnson reveals an apparent reconciliation. Elon Musk deleted his critical tweets about Trump. This apparent change of heart came after public criticism from fans who argued that Musk's attacks were harmful to both him and the country. Musk began reposting pro-Trump content and even refollowed some of his associates on social media. Trump now adopts a conciliatory tone, saying he wishes Musk well and that they had a good relationship. Trump downplays any animosity, suggesting that while they are not best friends, they don't have to be enemies. Johnson presents their reconciliation as positive for the nation, especially amid external threats and internal turmoil. The dispute has significant repercussions, including a drop in the value of Musk's companies and speculation about the broader impact on politics and business. Political figures like House Speaker Mike Johnson have expressed hope for a reconciliation. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.